Hi, and welcome to High School Challenge 2012. We're so glad to have you here with us. And of course, we have 8 fine teams back for the quarterfinals. Our first quarterfinal features the 1-seed Horseheads against the 8-seed EFA. They have played before in the Twin Tiers Quiz League, and we're looking forward to a very good match today. Let's meet the team from Horseheads and their captain, Shaunak Amin.
Hi, I'm Shaunak Amin. I am the captain of Horseheads High School. I'm a senior, and I'm going to college to study biology.
I'm Tim, I'm a junior, I'm the co-captain, and I have no clue where I'm going to college or what I'm going to study in college.
I'm Jonathan, I'm a senior, and I'm going to study mechanical engineering.
I'm Frankie, I'm a senior, and I'm going to study biology.
Team from Horseheads is coached by Pam Doran. Now let's meet the team from Elmira Free Academy and their captain, Paul Stapleton.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I plan on attending Gordon College in the fall to major in history.
Hi, I'm Abir, and I plan to attend college in the fall to major in computer science.
Hi, I'm Todd, and I plan to study physics.
Hi, I'm Mitchell, and I plan to study engineering.
The team from EFA is coached by Felicia Tokarski. All right, teams, we're ready to go. These teams have been hanging around, getting ready, and they're all psyched up. Here we go. We start with a 5-pointer. Shakespeare wrote many plays about real kings and queens, but in A Midsummer Night Dream, the characters Oberon and Titania are king and queen of what fanciful creatures?
Horseheads, Tim.
Fairies?
The fairies is correct for 5. Here's a 10-pointer. Its SI unit is the farad. In electromagnetic physics, what name is given to the ability of a body to hold a charge?
Horseheads, Jonathan.
Electromagnetism?
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, EFA?
EFA, Todd.
Electronegativity.
We're looking for capacitance. Here's a 5-pointer. Deprived is a word meaning kept from possessing or enjoying. Change one letter and give me a word that means morally corrupt.
Horseheads, Jonathan.
Depraved?
Depraved is correct for 5. Here's a 10-pointer. Ethelred was called the Unready. Edward was called the Confessor. Who's the only English king to be called the Great?
Horseheads, Tim.
Alfred.
Alfred is correct for 10. Here's a 10-pointer. It's a 3-word French phrase commonly used in English to describe, for instance, the attitude of U.S. Marines toward other U.S. Marines. What is it? Call time. The answer is esprit de corps. For 5 points, his win at the Chevron World Challenge in December 2011 was his first in more than 2 years. Who is this one-time number 1 golfer in the world?
Horseheads, Shaunak.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods is correct for 5. Here's another 5-pointer. It's a visual toss-up, a brain buster. Watch your monitor and tell me what word can directly follow these 3.
Horseheads, Shaunak.
Peace.
Peace is correct. Masterpiece, centerpiece, and hairpiece. For 5 points, this math toss-up. What is the sum of the first 4 prime numbers?
Horseheads, Shaunak.
Time.
We'll call time. Can you take it, EFA?
EFA, Todd.
17.
17 is correct for 5 points. Here's a 10-pointer. Go due west from Tampa, Florida, and the first landfall you'll make will be in which state?
Horseheads, Shaunak.
Texas.
Texas is correct for 10. For 5 points, annelids and nematodes are both types of what kind of invertebrate?
Horseheads, Shaunak.
Worms.
Worms is what we were looking for, and that brings us to the end of round 1. What's our score, please, Scott?
After 1 round, Brooks, Horseheads 45, EFA 5.
All right, that means you'll have first bid EFA in the answer auction round. I'm going to read the answer auction question for both teams now. In the U.S. Senate, each state has 2 senators. 16 of the 50 U.S. states have 2 Democratic senators apiece. How many of those states can you name? While they're making up their minds on the opening bid, I'll tell the folks at home that the team with the highest bid must then give that number of correct answers without giving an incorrect answer. That gets them 40 points. If they're not able to do that, then the other team must give only 1 correct answer, not already said. that gets them 20 points. And if they can't do that, the original high bidder gets the 20 points. So we'll ask you now, Tim, what's your opening bid? I'm sorry, Paul.
We'll bid 2.
They bid 2. Will you go 3?
Or no.
They will not go 3. They're going to give this to you for 2 answers, and it will be, if you get it right, it'll be 40 points and a tie. So go. 2 answers.
New York,
New York is definitely one of them.
Vermont,
I'm sorry, no, Vermont is not. So you get the 20 points, Horseheads. They were California, Colorado.
No. They get a chance. They get a chance at answering one.
I'm sorry. So you can't get California or Colorado. Nope. Back to you for 20 points, EFA. California, Colorado, Delaware, Hawaii, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Rhode Island, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia. That brings us to the end of round 2. What's our score, please? Scott?
EFA gets 20 for winning the auction. That makes the score Horseheads 45, EFA 25.
Okay, next round is toss-ups and bonuses, a chance for EFA to make further inroads into the lead or Horseheads to increase the lead. We'll see what happens on TC3's High School Challenge 2012.
We're CSCA.
Our reputation, New York's leading union.
We've earned it. It's okay.
The Breast Cancer Research Foundation.
E-File. Get receipt confirmation and a quicker refund. E-File, or tell your tax preparer to do it for you. And join the 60 million e-filers who consider it done.
Scott, is that score official?
Yes, it is, Brooks. After 2 periods of play, Horseheads 45, EFA 25.
20 points separating the teams. And each bonus in this round is worth 20 points. Each toss-up is worth 10. You answer a toss-up correctly, you get a chance at that 20-point bonus. The first one is the category continents. Here's the toss-up for 10 points. Which physicist won the Nobel Prize in 1921 for his work on Brownian motion in molecules and his discovery of the photoelectric effect? Call time. The answer is Albert. Just call me Al Einstein. Still playing for that continents bonus for 10 points. Professor Humbert Humbert was the seducer of a teenage temptress in what racy Vladimir Nabokov novel? The answer is Lolita. For 10 points, the suit brought by Attorney General Eric Holder, now before the Supreme Court, claims that which state's anti-illegal immigration law is unconstitutional?
Horseheads, Shauna.
Arizona.
Arizona's is correct. Here's your continents bonus, Horseheads. I want you to name the continent on which you'd find each of these countries. First, Andorra.
Europe.
Yes. Benin.
Africa.
Yes. Brunei.
Asia.
Yes. Eritrea.
Africa.
Yes.
All 20 points on the bonus for Horseheads.
U.S. President, the category of the next bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10. Lolita author Vladimir Nabokov, we're stuck on him, was perhaps the best-known amateur lepidopterist, and references to the subject of his hobby appear on all of his works. What does a lepidopterist study? The answer is butterflies. Still playing for that U.S. President's bonus, this 10-pointer. 2 South American countries have no coastline on any sea or ocean. Name either of them.
Horseheads, Shauna.
Bolivia.
Bolivia, the other's Paraguay. Here's your U.S. President bonus, Horseheads. From 1954 to 1960, he was Senate Majority Leader, and from that position was chosen to be the Vice Presidential nominee in 1960. Who was he?
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson's correct. Johnson's wife, Claudia, was known by what nickname?
Lady Bird.
Lady Bird is correct. Which program for the elderly was added through a 1965 amendment to the Social Security Act under Johnson?
Medicare.
Medicare is correct. And finally, the war on poverty was part of LBJ's domestic policy, which was called by what 3-word name?
The Great Society.
The Great Society is correct.
Once again, all 20 points on the bonus for Horseheads.
Phyla, the category of the next bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10. It's a math toss-up. In an equilateral triangle, what is the difference between the sum of the interior angles and the sum of the exterior angles?
Horseheads, Shauna.
180.
180 degrees is correct. Here's your phyla bonus, Horseheads. For each aquatic animal species I name, give the phylum to which it belongs. First, the sea urchin.
It's a jellyfish or a jellyfish. Pass.
Pass.
It is the echinoderms. Yeah. Sponge.
Porifera.
Porifera.
Porifera is correct. Lobster.
Mollusca.
It's an arthropod. And great white shark.
No, it's vertebrate.
Oh, vertebrate.
It's a chordate.
Yeah, because all vertebrates are their own
5
file.
points on the bonus for Horseheads.
All right, add a letter, the category of the last bonus. Here's the toss-up for 10. Speaking of triangles, spell isosceles.
Horseheads, Shauna.
ISOCELES.
I'm sorry, not correct. Can you take it EFA?
EFA, Abir.
ISOSCELES.
That is correct. There's an S in there. ISOSCELES. So 10 points for EFA and a chance at this add a letter bonus. I want you to add a letter to either the beginning or end of the first word defined. To spell the second word defined, give both words. Add a letter to the sheltered side of a mountain and get a verb that means glance insultingly or suggestively.
Pass.
Lee becomes leer. We were looking for those 2 words. Add a letter to a medieval instrument of torture and get a fisher. F-I-S-S-U-R-E, not someone who's fishing.
Pass.
Rack becomes crack. Add a letter to a written stage drama or comedy and get a verb that means spread out.
Pass.
Play becomes splay. And finally, add a letter to a liquor distilled from molasses and get the hinder part of an animal.
Pass.
Rum becomes rump.
No points on the bonus for EFA.
And that brings us to the end of round 3. What's our score, please, Scott?
Our unofficial score going into the 62nd round, Horseheads 120, EFA 35.
All right, in the 62nd round, EFA will have first choice of categories, and the categories we'll be using in this round are A in history, B in physics, homophone pairs C and D in geography. We'll be back in a moment to see which categories they choose and how well they do with them on TC3's High School Challenge 2012.
We're CSCA.
Our reputation, New York's leading union.
We've earned it.
This is a tree that was never chopped down. To make a crutch that was never needed by a child who never got polio. Because vaccine was never in short supply. Thanks to people whose compassion wasn't either. Over the years, Rotary Club members have helped immunize over 2 billion children against polio. Soon, the world will be polio-free. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Hi, I'm Sterling Marley. There's nothing better than great fans who cheer me on in the 40 car. While watching the race, many of our fans like to enjoy a cold beer. And that's okay if you're 21. But if you choose to drink, please do so responsibly. Avoid drinking to excess and never drive drunk. Traffic deaths involving alcohol have fallen dramatically in the last 20 years. So let's all do a part by drinking responsibly.
This message is brought to you by the National Beer Wholesalers Association and this station.
Scott, is that score official?
Yes, it is. Horseheads has a 120-35 lead over EFA going into the 62nd round.
All right, 62nd round, a chance to make up some points here. EFA, you had the choice of those 4 categories. Which one are you choosing, Paul?
Physics.
Physics, B in physics. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. What instrument measures atmospheric pressure?
Barometer.
Yes. Name either of the Germans who shared the 1954 Physics Nobel for their research in quantum mechanics.
Planck. Planck.
No. Whose constant is lowercase k?
Planck.
No. What SI unit measures the activity of a radionuclide?
Pass.
In U.S. customary measure, 4 pecs equal 1 what?
Pass.
Who developed the theory of the pressure of gases on container walls?
Chevalier.
No. What Dane is considered the founder of the modern quantum theory of matter?
De Broglie.
No. What is an electron or positron emitted at high speed in radioactive decay?
Beta radiation.
Yes. The unit that measures sound intensity is taken from the name of what inventor?
Pass.
The undergraduate degree awarded to a physics major at a university is what?
Time.
We've run out of time. Okay, a chance Horseheads to steal
20 points for EFA.
80 points because they picked up 20. And here we go. I want you to name either of the Germans who shared the 1954 Physics Nobel for their research in quantum mechanics.
Pass.
Okay, it's Born or Botha. Whose constant is lowercase k?
Beer.
It's Boltzmann's. What SI unit measures the activity of a radionuclide?
Pass.
It's a becquerel. In U.S. customary measure, 4 pecs equal 1 what?
Bushel.
Yes. Who developed the theory of the pressure of gases on container walls?
Boyle.
No, Bernoulli. What Dane is considered the founder of the modern quantum theory of matter?
Bohr.
Niels Bohr is correct. The unit that measures sound intensity is taken from the name of what inventor?
Bell.
Alexander Graham Bell is correct. And the undergraduate degree awarded to a physics major at a university is what?
Bachelor.
More specific.
Bachelor of Science.
Yes.
That's 42nd chance points for Horseheads.
All right, you picked up 40 on their category. Chance to take your own category now, Horseheads. What are you choosing, Shaunak?
D in geography.
D in geography it is. Ready with the timer? Start the timer, please. What's the longest river in Australia?
Darling Murray.
Yes.
Yes.
What U.S. state has only 3 countries? Counties, rather.
Delaware.
Yes. What's the official language of Curaçao?
What? Danish.
No. Who owned Iceland until 1980?
Denmark.
Yes. What's the lowest point in North America?
Death Valley.
Yes. What's the capital of Bangladesh?
Dhaka.
Yes. What country shares an island with Haiti?
Dominican Republic.
Yes. The shores of what body of water provide the lowest point on Earth's land surface?
Dead Sea.
Yes. What state capital is called the farm capital of America?
Des Moines.
Yes. And finally, what city's nickname is Big D?
Dallas.
Dallas is correct.
Good job, Horseheads. 90 points on your 62nd round questions.
All right. So the only one you get a chance at, EFA, is this one. What's the official language of Curaçao?
Portuguese.
It is Dutch. Remember, it was D in geography. Okay, that brings us to the end of round 4. What's our score, please, Scott?
After 4 rounds, Horseheads 250, EFA 55.
All right, still lots of points in our final round, which is nothing but toss-ups, and that's coming up next on TC3's High School Challenge 2012.
Hi, I'm Russell Simmons. Today I want to talk to you about a very important subject, and it's cruelty to animals. Emmy was a victim of cruelty and someone did something about it. Someone called the ASPCA and put an end to it, because Emmy can't talk. The fact is, animals are abused all over this country, and people sit by and do nothing. It's not slick or fly or cool or none of that. It's just cruel. If If you're aware of any animal abuse, go to ASPCA.org. Find out what you can do. Now, make a difference. She can't do it for herself.
Flight 828, now boarding at gate 9.
Mr. Gilmore. Mr. Gilmore, your foursome is on the team. Have fun and hit 'em straight.
What's more fun than a round with your friends? Nice shot. To discover all the ways you can get more golf in your life, visit playgolfamerica.com.
Play golf, America.
Is the score official, please, Scott?
Yes, it is, Brooks. Horseheads has 250, EFA 55.
All right, still a chance to get into it, EFA, in this final round. Nothing but toss-ups, and they're more difficult, so they're worth more points. We start with a 15-point math toss-up. Listen carefully. If y equals 3 cosine 2x is graphed from 0 to 2 pi, in which quadrant or quadrants will it cross the x-axis? Giving you 15 seconds to answer this. I'll read it.
Horseheads, Shauna.
1 and 4.
Sorry, no. I'll read it again if you need it, EFA. If y equals 3 cosine 2x is graphed from 0 to 2 pi, in which quadrant or quadrants will it cross the x-axis?
EFA, Abir.
1 and 3.
No, it would be all 4 quadrants. I have a 15-pointer now. The Crookes radiometer, the Atmos clock, and the unbalanced wheel appear at first glance to be, but are not, what type of machine that violates?
Horseheads, Tim.
They, in fact, are supposed to be, but are not, yes, for 15 points. For 10 points, where does the U.S. rank worldwide in both area and population?
Horseheads, Shauna.
3rd.
3rd is correct. Area after Russia and Canada, population after China and India. For 10 points, C. Auguste Dupin, the main character of the short stories The Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Mystery of Marie Roget, and The Purloined Letter, was the creation of what troubled?
Horseheads, Shauna.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe is correct. If we were going to ask troubled American author of the mid-1800s, you didn't need that. For 10 points, in German, the word morgen means tomorrow, but it has another meaning. What part of the day?
Horseheads, Jonathan.
Morning.
Morning, it designates morning. For 15 points, what 20th century U.S. president had a special railroad car called the Ferdinand Magellan, a personal plane called the Sacred Cow, and a dog named Fala?
Horseheads, Tim.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
That's correct for 15. Here's a 10-pointer. In what class of drugs would you find medicines with the trade names Effexor, Cymbalta, Zoloft, and...
Horseheads, Tim.
Antidepressants.
Antidepressants is correct, Tim. I have a 15-point audio toss-up now. I want you to listen to this and name the 4 instruments making up this group. No dancing in the audience.
EFA, Paul.
Bass, piano, drums, and vibraphone.
That is correct, Paul. Well done. Here's a 15-pointer. 27% of its land is covered by the Andes. The Amazon basin's forests and jungles cover another half. Name this country.
EFA, Todd.
Argentina.
I'll finish it. Name this country whose 2nd and 3rd largest cities are Arequipa and Callao.
Horseheads, Shaunak.
Bolivia.
No, it is Peru. For 15 points, where would you find a tittle? The answer is it's the dot on top of a J or I in written English. You learn something every day. For 10 points, teams, it's a corrosive, toxic, reddish-brown halogen whose atomic number is 35. Name this element, one of only 2.
Horseheads, Tim.
Bromine.
Bromine is correct, Tim, for 10 points. I now have a 15-pointer. From June 1675 to April 1676, when he was killed, what son of Massasoit and chief of the Wampanoags led the war named for him?
Horseheads, Shawnak.
King Philip.
King Philip is correct, Shawnak, for 15 points. Here's a 10-pointer. Sir Francis Drake was the first Englishman to do it. The man generally credited with the accomplishment was actually killed by natives, and Juan del Cano brought his ships home. What was this feat?
Horseheads, Tim.
Circumnavigating the world.
That is correct. For 10 points, the football huddle was first used in the 19th century by Gallaudet College. What distinction do the football players of Gallaudet, now Gallaudet University, have among college football players?
Horseheads, Shawnak.
They were all African American.
I'm sorry, no. Can you take it, EFA? They're all deaf. That's why they had to use the huddle, because people were picking up the signals that they were using to tell what play they were going to run. For 15 points, it's a geodesic dome, 6 feet in diameter and 1,070 pounds in weight. Made of Waterford crystal, what is only used once a year?
Horseheads, Jonathan.
The New Year's Ball.
New Year's Ball in Times Square is correct. That brings us to the end of the match. What's our final score, please? Scott?
At the end of the match, Horseheads advances to the quarterfinals, to the semifinals, excuse me, with a 370-70 win over EFA.
All right, very well played, both teams. Horseheads a little bit faster on the buzzer. We'll be back in a moment to validate the score and say goodbye to our friends on TC3's High School Challenge 2012.
We're CSCA.
Our reputation, New York's leading union.
We've earned it.
Poison Center, can I help?
What's the number on the bill, man?
Su niña estaba fuera.
What a day. Started with the call from the factory in town. There'd been a chemical spill, and a number of the employees had breathed in the fumes.
This mom called because her 2-year-old got into some old blue pills, and she was scared.
And then I got a snake bite call from the emergency room. Supply of antivenom.
I made sure that everybody got out into the fresh air, and then I told them what to watch for.
She calmed down when she heard me speak in Spanish. I told her that her little one would be okay.
I explained how to use the new antidote. The patient is feeling much better.
They called quickly, and everyone was fine.
I called back to see how both of them were. She was so grateful.
I was glad to teach them something new.
Experts at your local poison control center are ready to give you free, confidential, expert advice 24/7. Call 1-800-222-1222.
Well, our first quarterfinal of the day was a good one. Scott, what is our official final score, please?
Our official final score between these two fine Twin Tiers Quiz League teams, Horseheads 370, Elmira Free Academy 70.
Well, Horseheads get got a little bit of revenge for the beating that they took in the Twin Tiers Quiz League from EFA. We'd like to certainly thank both teams for coming up and competing. EFA always brings a good team and also a well-dressed team. We appreciate that. We thank Felicia Tokarski for getting them all dressed up and bringing them up here. Horseheads, we're not going to knock you for not being dressed up because I would just as soon not be dressed up, but that's the way it goes. Horseheads, you are going to go on now to meet the winner of the match between Mountain View and Seton Catholic A. Seton Catholic, by the way, qualified 2 teams for this year's quarterfinals. Their A and B teams are both going to be playing, and we're looking forward to seeing them and in action next, and we're also looking forward to seeing Horseheads further on down the line. I'd like to thank you for watching High School Challenge 2012. We've enjoyed having you here with us, and we hope you'll be watching again next time when we have another quarterfinal match. I'm Brooks Sanders. Bye-bye, everybody.